After 20 months of ICE detainment, a Congolese man fighting for political asylum has reunited with his family. 10 News reporter Rina Nakano spoke to the newly paroled father who went to church service with his family for the first time since 2017. Rina.
Good evening. During his detention, Constantine Bakala, the only way he spoke to his wife and 7 children was over the phone. Today, the Bakalas tell me they feel whole again. These are the faces of a family whose prayers came true.
Constantine has been reunited with his family.
This is Constantine Bakala's first time at church since his parole. In 2017, the former computer engineer took his family and escaped from the Republic of Congo after he says they got multiple death threats by the new government. They somehow made it to San Isidro to seek political asylum, but the family was separated. Constantine was held alone at 4 different detention facilities on the East Coast, while his wife Annie and the kids were released in San Diego.
Vu les axes opposés, là où la famille se trouvait et là où était ma détention.
For months, the Bakalas and their friends fought for reunification, rallying at the ICE office downtown and holding church events. Earlier this year, his first parole request was denied. 5 lawyers, 30 volunteers, and 20 months later, he was granted parole. On August 19th, Constantine arrived at Lindbergh Field with a single duffel bag.
Quand je les ai touchés, j'ai réalisé cette joie.
His eldest daughter, Marie-Louise, couldn't contain her joy.
I'm very grateful to God and to all those people who are helping me, my family, to be together.
The Bakala's journey isn't over. As Constantine adjusts to his new life as a parolee, the family awaits their trial. But now they have each other. Constantine, Annie and the kids, Marie-Louise, Emmanuel, Daniel, David, Augustine, Moises, and Joseph, together at last.
I thank everybody who are before me to understand the condition from where I am coming.
Constantine's asylum case is now moved to California. The family now awaits their trial date. In North Park, Rina Nakano, 10 News.
Rina, thank you. A Los Angeles County Sheriff's deputy who said he was shot in a station parking lot was lying. Angel Reynosa has said that he'd been shot in the shoulder of his bulletproof vest while making his way to his car Wednesday. That launched an expensive manhunt for the sniper, but sheriffs say no bullets were recovered from the scene and detectives saw no visible injuries. Reynosa eventually admitted to making the whole thing up.
Angel Reynosa admitted that he was not shot at. He also told investigators that he had caused the holes in his uniform shirt by cutting it with a knife. There was no sniper, no shots fired, and no gunshot injury sustained to his shoulder. Completely fabricated.
Reynosa has been relieved of his duties. He will now face a criminal investigation. Now to a developing story. A family of a man shot and killed by San Diego police is demanding answers. Officers responded to a home in El Cerrito last night after a woman said her nephew attacked her with a brick. 10 News reporter Nate Holmes spoke with the man's family, who say they are in shock.
I don't know why they may shot my brother. I'm so devastating about their decision.
Full of sadness, Anthony Carolino was here early Sunday morning as the medical examiners wheeled his brother's body away from the scene.
Oh, he's very kindness, you know. I love him so much, and it's a heart, you know.
Family members visibly upset hours earlier after learning of the officer-involved shooting. It happened around 8 o'clock Saturday night. Police say the suspect was staying with his aunt. She called 911 after the man hit her with a brick. Police say when officers arrived, they tried arresting the man, but he resisted.
Officers did attempt to deploy a taser.
Witnesses told police the man started swinging a shovel at the 2 officers.
One officer fired a service weapon, striking the suspect at least once.
Like 7 gunfire, like boom, 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 like after each other.
Despite officers performing CPR, the suspect died at the scene. Carolino says his brother suffered from a mental illness.
I'm surprised why this officer used a deadly force, you know. Because myself, I went to police academy, so I know the measure is, you know. When you use the deadly force, that's the last thing that you're gonna do.
Neighbors also shocked this happened so close to home.
Everyone's so kind and nice to each other. It's like just hearing this going on, it's like I've lived here 2 years, and this is the first thing that's happened, so it's worrying.
Nate Holmes, 10 News.
Investigators tell 10 News the officer who tased the man was a 16-year veteran. The officer who opened fire has been on the force for 4 years. Both officers are being placed on administrative leave during the investigation. The youngest survivor of the Hamada Poway shooting is celebrating a birthday she came dangerously close to losing. The Helen Woodward Animal Center hosted a special party today for Noya Don's 9th birthday. She and her friends able to pet some lovable animals out there, play games. Sugar and Scribe Bakery in La Jolla baked that delicious sparkly cake just for Noya, complete with a pink ballerina.
I've seen a ton of people coming here offering love to Noya and her family and trying to remind them that they are supported by our community, and we're happy that our furry friends can be a part of it.
Local businesses also pitched in to make sure that Noya's gift table there was full of presents. A surprise announcement at the G7 summit, a new trade deal between Japan and the U.S. And a concert for mass shooting victims hosted by comedian Dave Chappelle is expected to draw tens of thousands to Dayton, Ohio. The star-studded Sunday service that got the day kicked off. Today has been one of the most violent so far in Hong Kong, where protests have entered their 12th week. Police have fired tear gas and rolled out water cannons. Protesters have taken to the streets of Hong Kong for more than 2 months. Their demands include democratic elections in the Chinese territory and an investigation into police use of force to quell those protests. World leaders and their spouses posed for a family photo at the G7 summit after an unexpected turn. Today, President Trump announced a trade deal with Japan. ABC's Tara Palmieri explains what this means.
An unexpected announcement coming at the G7 summit. President Trump and Japanese Prime Minister Abe agreeing in principle to a trade deal.
We've agreed to every point, and now we're papering it and we'll be signing it at a formal ceremony.
The deal involves large purchases of American agricultural products by Japan and allows the U.S. to compete with countries that were part of the Trans-Pacific Partnership. News of that agreement coming as the trade war continues between the U.S. and China. The president's tough stance and increasing tariffs rattling markets and worrying America's allies. As he met with British Prime Minister Boris Johnson, the president downplaying the tensions.
I think they respect the trade war.
But Johnson saying his country has benefited from free trade. And as the UK prepares to leave the European Union, he is looking for his own trade deal with the U.S.
We want a comprehensive trade deal, one that goes beyond just manufacturers and agriculture. You know, that's the kind of the easy stuff to do.
The president remains optimistic he can reach a deal with China, but in a rare expression of self-doubt, he admitted,
I have second thoughts about everything.
Later, the administration putting its spin on those comments.
He wanted to clarify if he had second thoughts, it would be to raise the tariffs.
And another big surprise on Sunday, Iran's Foreign Minister Zarif arriving in France, a move that comes as tensions between the U.S. and Iran are running high. Zarif invited by President Macron in an effort to decrease rising tensions in the Middle East. The foreign minister met with other world leaders, but not with President Trump or the U.S. delegation. Tara Palmieri, ABC News, Washington.
Conservative radio host Joe Walsh will challenge President Trump for the Republican presidential nomination in 2020. He made that announcement today. Last week, Walsh published an op-ed in the New York Times apologizing for helping elect the president, calling him a, quote, unfit con man. Walsh has a history of making controversial comments, including some about President Obama. In 2016, he accused Obama of hating Israel and pushed the false conspiracy theory that Obama is Muslim. An office and shopping center were partly destroyed in a massive blast. That scene unfolded this morning in Columbia, Maryland, at a building that houses a Social Security office and a dental practice. First responders were already there after receiving a call about a possible gas leak. 30 minutes later, the building exploded.
None of the businesses were open. The building